Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. We see the markets. They are absolutely green, right? They're absolutely fantastic. Um, this is crazy because it's not even altcoin season yet. This isn't even the peak and prime of coins. During altcoin season, we can see potentially average days like this for a whole month up to 6 weeks. And it's crazy, right? We might not see 60% each day, but we could see 15% consistently, 8% consistently, 12% consistently, up to 25% consistently. Then we have like a 5% day here, maybe like a -1% day here, and another 7%, another 14% followed by that. And it's going to be the best time of our lives. Okay. But one way, you have to prepare for your coin is by looking at the technical analysis. Now, most coins, I will say, will be going to unknown territory. Now, this is absolutely fantastic because once you kind of get out of consolidation, which I will use like coin, for example, I will use potentially like render, for example. If we go to render over here, right? Render is still in this zone, upwards of, pretty much, let's just say $16. Okay. A coin like render, right? We can mark this up super, super easily. Okay. We can look at a few things. For one, I could say at the minimum, render should go, worst case scenario, absolutely the worst case should go upwards of $16, right? We just take out liquidity from this 13.5 area, and then, we sell back down. That is the worst case scenario. Okay. Each coin is going to have different structure, but more or less, most coins already have some type of structure built up. So if I'm looking at a coin like Render, right, I'm looking at worst case scenario, $16, which is like whatever, because I bought, some stuff over here, some over here, some here, here. I bought multiple times, right? The higher I bought, the less I put in money, and the lower I got, the more aggressive I went, just to get a better dollar cost average, just because I saw great buying opportunities. So, let's say my average, let's just for simplicity's sake, $5, and it goes to 16. Okay, three times the amount, worst case scenario. It is what it is, but can't complain. It's three times. You're not gonna get that, in many other places. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the important thing to mark up, right? Once we see big zones like here, here, and here, we have to see how a coin like Render, for example, or your token will be around this area. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a little bit of a dip, but if it's still very, very aggressive price action and we start going above this type of zone, right, above all of this resistance, ladies and gentlemen, your coin will be flying higher than you can expect. Okay, not only are we, a coin like Render above 1350 is already like unknown territory, so it's easier for coins to expand. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to realize that in this context of something like Render, if it exploded and it held and it turned this massive resistance into support, then what it's saying is $18 is considered fairly cheap. And a coin like this, like I said, realistic price action could go upwards of like $80, $90. Best case scenario, we could go up to potentially even 150, right? So imagine now this looks crazy now. This looks crazy now. But you got to remember, at one point, people were here, right? People were all the way down here where they were looking at the charts and they're like, yeah, okay, this happened. And then they got this crazy expansion, right? People that bought in like at 10 cents, they went all the way up to 250, potentially getting 25 times the amount of gains. And then, right, we had a sell off. And then same thing here, right? Could have bought, let's say, for $1, from $1 to 8.70. And again, over this season, 36 cents, $1.40, whatever, went to 13. So people are going to always kind of call it crazy until it happens, right? Doge is one of the best examples I could use by, what I mean by crazy, right? Unfortunately, this one doesn't have the data, so let's go to this one. So we can see, look, Dogecoin was here, okay? No one expected Dogecoin to do what it did, right? But we went from this price action, taking the tops, potentially thinking, we might liquidate the tops and then sell off or whatever. We smashed through it. Imagine buying pretty much 0.003, and then you're all the way up here. You are making insane gains. Insane. Does not have to be perfect, but you could have made a lot of money, upwards of 30 times your money. it goes down a little bit, but guess what? It creates another pump. And hypothetically, if you bought, somewhere down here, right, like where we talked about, more or less, and you sold somewhere up here, you're making 160 times your money. Seems crazy, right? It seems crazy talking about this in the moment, but when it happens, everyone, gets surprised, even myself. That is why, you have to be marking out the charts, and you also have to be looking at how price action reacts off certain zones, and what is the timing of the market. Because if we're already in altcoin season and things are at its peak, right, those 4 to 6 weeks are coming up to an end, then you can most likely say, okay, goodbye. For something like render, okay, goodbye. We did not get past to crazy zones, right? We didn't get past to the zones we wanted to. We got to like 16, 17, $18. Altcoin season looks like it's about to reverse. Everything's about to crash. It is what it is. You call it a day, you still made money, right? It is what it is, right? But if you see things already pump up really, really well, and it's just the beginning of altcoin season, and then let's say you got also the AI narrative and altcoin season's pumping, and you see expansions, oh, you are in for a nice treat, ladies and gentlemen. Something like Caspa, very, very unique price action, right? But Caspa also stands, tall, right? It also stands, right? It also does pretty well. And the reason why I say this is because Caspa has been consolidating for pretty much over a year. So even though the structure is different, I expect massive pumps once we do get out. Like I really do. I expect it actually even more probable for a coin like Caspa than Render to go above and beyond, because I believe Caspa is a better coin than Render, especially for the long term. But not only that, but because it has the easier structure to break through and higher probability, right? The structure we're looking at is more or less diagonal, and now some might debate that you could go like this, right? So I guess technically you could go like this. We could see Caspa, worst case scenario, top out at 30 cents, which wouldn't make sense with how big crypto is going to be. But this is a zone you have to look out for, right? See what the timing of the market is. If we're holding well, oh my gosh, bang, right? So remember, structure is very important. The timing of the market will be very important, right? One thing you have to look at is Bitcoin dominance when your altcoins are pumping. Are they pumping because Bitcoin dominance went down a little bit and there's just a lot more money? Or are they pumping because Bitcoin dominance is getting absolutely railed? Okay. Because if it's absolutely getting railed, then the ending is near. The ending is near. But if Bitcoin dominance went down like 3-4% and things have been looking good over the last few months, and your coin is at that consolidation zone, the zone we just talked about, something like Caspa, right? It's somewhere here, right? And Bitcoin dominance is still like, let's say, at 55%. You're looking good, because then Bitcoin dominance has a high chance of going from like 55% to 30%. And that's when altcoin season is going to be, and that's when Caspa is going to explode. So looking at the markets is very important, right? ICP has very unique structure. I will talk about this coin too, because this coin has very unique structure. And then we're also going to talk about something like XRP quickly, right? But we can see ICP, you're not going to come back to the top. Okay, that's just not going to happen. But you can look at very high probability zones. So a high probability zone is over here, $54. This institutional candle at $80. And then once we kind of get past $80 to $90, we don't have really any real structure. We could stop out. That's why I said we could stop out even at 225. So you gotta be paying attention, right? How ICP does, like, for example, over the next couple months, right? If Bitcoin dominance seems like it's about to get railed over the next month or two, and ICP is somewhere up here, you can expect upwards of $200. That is just the reality. If it is somewhere down at $30, you could expect maybe upwards of 80, maybe above this structure, 120. We'll see, right? So you have to really be paying attention. XRP is a unique case because XRP is already looking to be, pretty much creating some type of support and resistance near the relevant tops, right? This is the top. We went here, we got a little bit of rejection, we were building consolidation, and XRP is going to do great over the next couple months, and then during altcoin season, it's going to do even better. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. Pay attention to the markets. Technical analysis matters, and I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.